Welcome to Dancing Water. I'm Susan. I'm so glad you're here for your Dancing Water daily practice today, restorative yoga. And restorative yoga is a practice that is designed to actively, intentionally relax the body, allowing the process of rest and healing to happen by down-regulating the nervous system, by calming the body and mind, and deepening the breath. And we're going to do that today very simply with just a couple of props that you can find around the house. Our anchor of our attention today is approaching both love and fear and anything else that arrives in the body and mind with a sense of friendliness. One of the things that happens in restorative yoga is that we begin to notice our places of holding and habitual tension. And this practice is about shifting the way that we relate to that habitually held patterns. I hope you find this useful. I do my best to make this as simple as possible and adaptable as possible. And if you ever have any questions, I hope you'll let me know. I am very interested in making this the most useful as it can be for you. Today, really, all you're going to need is 2 towels, 2 bath towels that we're going to fold in what I very cleverly call a towel square. So if you haven't gotten that already, go ahead and grab a couple of towels, cushy towels. I like cushy towels. Mine are sort of medium cushy. You'll get a different experience with a thinner and firmer towel than you will with a fluffier, thicker towel. And so you may want to experiment and see what feels best for you. Let me just show you how to do this. It's very simple. Just taking the towel and folding it in half longwise so that the edges are nice and lined up, and then folding it in half again, and then folding it in half again. We're going to start with 2 towel squares. In the middle of the practice, we are going to do what I call, again, very cleverly, a folded square, which takes that towel square and folds it like that. Okay? So for now, though, set that aside and just take a moment. And let's start on our feet. So begin by softening your toes, relaxing your feet into the surface underneath you, and really feeling the texture of the floor under you. I do advise having some kind of softness, so whether it's a yoga mat or a blanket or a carpet or all 3, make sure that you feel that softness underneath you. And then soften into your ankles and your knees. And then just take your hands together at heart center as a sign that you are beginning your practice. So no matter what time of year you do this practice, I do recommend having layers. So I like to practice with long sleeves even when it's warm out. You may want socks, you may want an extra blanket to cover you, as your body temperature is very likely to go down. And now just release your hands and take them up the front of your body. So gently drawing your hands up the front of your body like it was a cool breeze. Blow it up your neck, up the front of your face, then around your head and around your back, pausing at your low back, right at your kidneys, at the space just above your sacrum. Give a little massage there. And then come down the back of your buttocks, back of your legs, and release. And let's do that again. Inhaling up like a cool breeze, face and neck, over the top of your head, down the back of your neck, down the back of your body, pausing at your kidneys, thumbs right at your waist, just above your hip bone. Massage there. And then carry down, back, pour down like a waterfall down the back of your body. One more time. Up. Feeling your whole self arriving here in the practice. Landing, pouring down into the support underneath you. Good. And then just come back to standing. Just move your body. So I like to take a little bit of a wider stance. We're going to anchor our practice on the 3 body weights, the core of the body, the pelvis, the chest, and the head. So softening your knees and ankles, just make very small circles with your hips. Just see what's happening in your hips right now and feel them in 360 degrees. Just noticing any places that are numb or disconnected, any places that feel good, and any places that maybe feel stuck. Yeah, just notice. Notice anything with friendliness. And then keeping your knees soft, taking your right hand with your left and gently pull yourself over to the left side. Very gently, inhale up. Push your feet down, soften your knees, grab onto your wrists very lightly, pull up and over. Feeling some movement through your ribs. Inhale, letting your chest open to the side. Inhale, center, and exhale over to the side. Then gently bring yourself down to the mat or the towel or the blanket and just give your shoulders a couple of shrugs and noticing how that impacts your neck. So just moving your shoulders and your neck around. And these muscles are small and delicate, so move your head and neck in ways that feel good. Again, with this sense of curious friendliness about what's happening in your body right now. And then just pause. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and then, like you're blowing out a candle, out through your mouth. Inhale. Arriving here, exhale. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do some supported poses. We're going to begin with a variation on constructive rest. So taking one of your towel squares at the top of your space and using the strength of your hands, gently roll yourself back down so the back of your head is supported on your towel. Now, depending on your body, this might be just right, or you may want to fold it under a little bit. What you want is to feel some support under your neck so that your chin is down. So that's a little too much for me. So just find what works for you. Take the time that you need to find what feels just right. And then check out your feet. Your feet are going to be a little bit wider than hip width, and your knees are gently relaxing toward each other so that your femur bones are gently resting in your hip sockets. And now, take your hands overhead or over your chest and wrap gently around your body, like you're giving yourself a hug. And just notice which arm is on top. So one option might be here to have an eye covering of some sort. If that feels good to you, if you're practicing in a very light-filled room. So begin by noticing the dome, the globe of your head, heavy and relaxing into the support of the towel underneath it. Relaxing the hinge of your jaw so that your teeth part slightly. Letting your tongue relax in the bottom of your mouth, away from the roof of your mouth. And now take a couple of deep breaths and notice the sensation in your chest. Notice the soft opening and relaxing back of your ribs that lift and sink your arms. Very slowly, smoothly, pause before you do it. Mindfully release the hold of your arms. Gently open them like flower petals, and then recross them with the other arm in front or on top, and wrap around again. So here, you're actually using your arms almost like another prop. You're doing two things. You're both getting a little weight on your chest so that your body feels this support from above. And you're also wrapping around in a way that feels good, like a hug. And I find this surprisingly comforting to do, surprisingly soothing. And notice if you can feel the pulse of your body, perhaps your heartbeat in your chest, but maybe you feel your pulse someplace else. Maybe in your lips or your face, your hands, or your feet. See if you can soften the back of your head a little more. Lifting and lowering your arms a little more with your breath. And then noticing the broad expanse of your lower back, your sacrum. Feel it flat and heavy against the floor, receiving the weight of your thighs. But your inner thighs and the musculature around your hips totally relaxed. Notice any sensations that come immediately into your awareness. And receive them with friendliness. As we practice, often what happens is that bigger layers of tension are released relatively quickly, only to uncover little pockets of holding, patterns that we chronically clench. And simply notice them. Invite them in with a sense of friendliness. Taking a bigger, longer, smoother breath, and then again, like you're blowing out a candle, blow it out. Slowly let your hands float up and then down. And without rush, just let your body rock gently to one side. Then use your top hand to push yourself up into seated. And feel yourself here reorienting. Yeah. So taking your towel square. Now, we're going to put this under our shoulder blades. And again, we call this supported fish. And again, the height of your towel will depend on the kind of experience and where your body is today. So for me, a folded square feels good. That may be more than you want. So I invite you to start with a square, and if you feel like you'd like a little more opening through your chest without an overstretch, feel free to come back and fold the square. As you're ready, gently again turn back using the strength of your hands. Take your shoulder blades and place them right on the towel. Let your feet extend out long and come back. Then take your hands, give a stretch. So fingers and toes stretch away from each other long, and then take your hands behind you, what I call sunbathing hands. So your two thumbs are right behind your each ear. So each thumb is behind an ear, and your fingers are gently laced behind your head. So if the towel is too much in this position, you'll know it if you feel a strain in your neck, in which case simply roll to one side, push yourself up, and make an adjustment to your towel. And then come back. It's worth taking the time to find a place, oh yeah, that's good, that feels just right. So restorative yoga is about creating shapes, supported shapes that allow you to unwind without effort. So now just with these sunbathing hands, let your thumbs run along the ridge of bone at the base of your skull. So really feel the weight of your head in your hands. being gentle but firm with your thumbs. There can be some real tenderness here. These are very small muscles that are working all the time. Then, when you're ready, take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, use one hand to kind of cup your head and roll it to one side. Inhale, bring your nose to center. And exhale, like your head is a honeydew melon. And you're looking on all sides of the melon. You're just taking the weight of your head in your hands and curling it to one side on the exhale. So inhale in the center, exhale and rotate. So gentle and so slowly. Ask yourself, could I do it even more gently, even more slowly? Inhale, center. Exhale. And you can keep that movement going if it feels good, connecting it with your breath, or you can come back to just resting your head in your palms. Noticing the sensation along your sternum, along your breastbone. Imagine warm oil pouring down from the center of your chest, down in between your ribs, down the sides of your body. Your ribs melting under the gentle support from underneath. Feeling now the orientation of your hips, your low back now arching a little bit away from the floor. Feeling a different sensation than in the last posture. Releasing any tension, particularly in the fronts of your legs, your thighs. Letting your toes just naturally extend away from your crown without any effort whatsoever. It's not necessary to breathe in any particular way. Let your breath find its own pattern of depth and length. Allowing it to go where it needs to go. And then mindfully take a breath again and give a big long stretch. Toes and fingers away from each other. And then gently draw one leg at a time in and roll to one side again. Let yourself push down. Yeah. Take your time reorienting. For me, I can actually feel it. Feels like the sensation of my blood, like an hourglass, shifting and then pouring down. So allow yourself just to feel that shift as part of the practice. And then moving your towel to about 2/3 of the way down your space, and now it's going to go under your hips. So again, you can choose if you want a towel square or a folded square under your hips. And then take a towel square out to the side, right next to the one that's going under your hips. Again, gently lower yourself back down. Feel yourself. So you want here the towel is under your sacrum and not your low back. So you want to feel that big, heavy bone of your low back resting against the support. And then extending your one leg long, bending the other leg, and this is what we're going to call this supported tree. It's actually a little bit of a bridge pose too because our hips are lifted. So maybe we call it the supported tree bridge. But just taking the sole of your foot, doesn't have to touch your long leg, but you can have, right? For me, it feels good just to have the ball of my foot touching my leg. Just let the leg come out to the side. And again, you may want more support under your thigh, in which case you may want to fold your towel square. And actually, that feels really good to me. So I have a fair amount of flexibility in my hips. And it's not that I can't do the stretch without the support, but there's a distinct difference between the way it feels when I am stretching and the way it feels when I am softening into the support. And that's what we're after. Arms can come here into a soft cactus. Elbows a little bit below shoulders, palms up, fingers curled like new leaves. If you have an eye covering, you may want it here. And again, just checking in with the 3 body weights, the core of your body. Noticing the sensation, the weight of your pelvis resting on the support. The asymmetry of your hips here. And that asymmetry may radiate up into your chest and your rib cage. And feeling the weight of your head again, relaxing and softening it into the floor. Checking to make sure that your chin isn't floating up, which signals to the nervous system to come on alert. Instead, you may want to even take your head, tip your chin down. Feel that sensation, almost looking down the length of your nose. Notice the sensation at your waist. Both the front at your belly and the back at your low back, at your lumbar spine. And at the sides of your waist. Oh. in this supported tree bridge pose. I sometimes imagine tension like old bark being shed off of an old tree. Long-held patterns of tension, habits of holding. We can shed them, we can let them go by relaxing on purpose. See if you can imagine the space between your hip bones softly opening. And then as you're ready, take a deep breath in and exhale and just extend your bent leg long. Take the towel from this side and move it to this side. Now extending the other leg long, gently drawing your foot up along the side of your inner thigh, and gently drop the outside of your leg to the support. And you can let some part of your foot come in contact with your inner thigh, but it's not necessary. And again, check into the sensation of that support. Are you stretching or are you softening into the prop underneath? Arms again could come to that opening of cactus if that feels good, but you can also have your hands come out at a 45-degree angle, or you could have them rest on your belly or on your hips. As mammals, we respond to warmth at the core of our body. It is an indication for our nervous systems to relax. So if you're comfortable with your hands on your belly or on your chest or on your ribs, it can be another way of supporting the unwinding, the unclenching. Breathe some smoothness into your forehead. Relaxing the muscles of your scalp. And the muscles around your ears. Without altering it in any way, without creating any barrier to your breath. Just let it move, but mindfully pay attention to what it's doing. Soften your lips, maybe swallow to release your neck and throat. Again, checking into the asymmetry of your hips here. How this side may feel very different, utterly different than the other side. And as you're ready, gently take your bent leg and extend it long. And one at a time, bending your knees up. And one at a time, gently pull your knees in toward your chest. Just using the weight of your thighs, create a little length through your low back. Now we're going to close with one more posture, and I'm going to give you an option. One option is to do a final resting pose or a Savasana pose on your back with or without support. So it might feel good to you just to gently roll to one side, take the towels away, or maybe put one under your head and one under your knees. Oh, hi, Phoenix. She heard final resting pose. So that's one option. And the other option is going to be a supported child's pose, which is a folded pose, which my body craves after all of these poses on the back. So you choose what feels best to you. And so if you're going to go into Shavasana, just gently roll to one side and adjust your props. And then roll back onto the floor. If you're going to do a supported child's, take one towel and place it here for your head. I think I'm going to actually put it like that. And take the other towel and you're going to put it behind your knees. So again, depending on your body, depending on your towels, and depending on how your legs are feeling today, you may want a lot of support behind your knees or a little. And you may want it very close to the backs of your knees, or you may want it closer to your ankles. I'm going to do a little bit of a support like this. And then take your body over and let your forehead rest on the towel. Now, you can take your arms overhead, if that feels good, or you can wrap them behind you like bird's wings, or you can pet your cat. Now, I want you to pay in particular attention to your forehead. I know it's more difficult to hear me with both cat and towel here, but what I'd like you to do is to feel the friction of the towel gently pushing the skin of your forehead toward the bridge of your nose, which will open up the back of your neck and also create the sense of calming through your nervous system. Whichever pose you're in, imagine a warm blanket on top of you. And you could actually have one if you like. Even just imagining this support from above, this warmth, that's almost like a friendliness, is a way of reassuring yourself, relating to your body and to the way that it may hold tension in a way that is kind. In whichever pose you're in, just notice the orientation of your 3 body weights, of your core body. The relationship between your pelvis, your chest, and your head. And you are welcome to stay in this pose as long as you like. You can pause the recording, turn it off entirely, and let your body tell you when you're ready to come out. And whenever you are, bring yourself to some kind of seat, slowly. Maybe sitting on a towel. You want to sit on a towel, Phoenix? So just feel yourself again. Let yourself reorient into this stacked 3 body weights. So feel your pelvis. Take a breath into your belly, creating some softness at your waist that then supports your chest. And then softening your neck, dropping your chin, creating some support for the weight of your head. And if you have tea or water, just marking the end of our practice together, symbolically watering this intention of being present with both love and fear with friendliness. Learning how to relate to whatever arises with a sense of openness and care. So, thank you for practicing with me. Thank you for taking the time for yourself. It makes a difference, not just to you, but it makes a difference to everyone who you interact with. It makes a difference in the world. Please do come back and practice again. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, and please share videos. Spreading the word about our Dancing Water daily practice is a huge gift. You can also find more information at my blog at focuspocusnow.com or at my website at susanmccully.com. Thank you for being here. You matter, and it makes a difference. I'll see you soon. Mwah.